Hello everyone, it is me, your lovely host, the Gaming Weasel, with the Boltor Prime Incarnon. This weapon is a weapon that I used basically since 2014, the day it came out, and I loved it ever since. Then I sadly found the Soma Prime, and then I found out how good Slash can be, and then I never basically used this weapon again. But with the Incarnon adapters, this weapon has gotten an amazing refresh, and I love that its Incarnon form is not something AoE again and everything AoE. No, it actually basically turns into a multi-shot rapid-firing rifle, which is incredibly good. So basically like the Fenbor, but a little bit different. Now, you might be asking, which weapon should I pick, Boltor Prime or Telos Boltor? Now, keep this in mind. Every time you pick a different weapon, they will have different stats on their Incarnon evolution. So let's say the Boltor Prime is going to get 18% critical chance, the Telos Boltor is going to get, for example, let's say 6. Because, of course, whilst we're talking about stats, you can see them on the screen right now, comparatively. Of course, Telos Boltor has higher critical chance and multiplier stats by, of course, 18% difference and 0.4 with the critical multiplier, but, of course, higher base status chance goes to the Boltor Prime. I personally picked the Boltor Prime. You can choose the Telos Boltor if you want to, but in my opinion, I love my Boltor Prime, and that's why I picked it, and because of the higher stats. Of course, mainly higher total damage stats, in my honest opinion. Now, whilst we are talking about the weapon itself, which is the point of this video, evolutions. Let's start off with the first evolution, where you basically get your Incarnon form. Now, the second evolution, we have two good options here. Well, decent, Hunter's Mantra, and of course we have Crimson Overtune, the one that I use, increases damage by 2 and 20% ammo efficiency for 5 seconds, stacks up 3 times. The second one, Hunter's Mantra, is pretty good, but to unlock for punch through and 40 accuracy, you need to have an ability that's channeled, and accuracy is pretty much useless. Now, evolution 3, we have Swift Deliverance, we have Extended Volley, and of course we have Rapid Reinforcements. Now, projectile speed, ammo efficiency, and reload speed. Reload speed can affect the actual transformation, but Swift Deliverance is my option to go. And of course, evolution 4. For the first one, we have Elemental Balance, increased status chance by 18%. We have, of course, the second one that I use, Survivor's Edge, increases status and critical chance by 10% respectively. And of course, the last one, Commander's Fortune, increases critical chance by 14%. As I said, Survivor's Edge is my honest opinion and my honest pick, because I love that, of course, the Boltor Prime has 34% status chance, and that's going to be 44 base, and increasing this, of course, critical chance by 10% is going to bring it up to 22. Of course, you can go for more critical chance, but I honestly think it is definitely not needed. Now, this weapon, with this build, these evolutions at least, performs really well. But with the builds that I have, and yes, I do have 2, it is going to perform even better. So let's go to the modding section. And now moving on to the favorite part of every video, it is of course the modding section. And in today's video, we actually have 2 builds for this amazing Incarnon weapon. Now, of course, the first build is going to be raw damage, the second one is going to be Hunter Munitions. Raw damage, plain and simple, multi-shot, pure damage, we have corrosive as well, galvanized aptitude, and of course critical damage and critical chance. Now, of course, we do have primary deadhead, which is of course gonna increase our damage even further, give us a headshot multiplier and lower our recoil. And of course, in the Exilus slot, you can have 3 mods that you can put on. Stabilizer, which I think is honestly not needed, but a good mod to put on. Vigilante Supplies, if you want that 5% chance to enhance critical hits. And of course, Terminal Velocity, which of course can be negated with one of the evolutions, but if you don't want that evolution, you can use Terminal Velocity to increase projectile speed. If you do have a Riven, or if you don't like using Vigilante armaments, you have one of 2 things. Put on a Bane mod here instead of this, and if you do have a Riven, try to focus on critical damage and also multi-shot. Those are going to be the best 2 options for, of course, your Boltor Riven. It is a disposition of 4 out of 5, which is pretty good. Now, Hunter Munitions. I think we all know how Hunter Munition works. Pretty much plain simple, critical damage, critical chance. Hunter Munitions, of course, we do have a viral with prime cryo rounds and infected clip, Cerebration just for that extra damage, and primary deadhead, galvanized chamber, and of course Bane of Corrupted. Now, if you do have a prime mod, put it in here, of course. If you don't like using Bane mods, which I do recommend you do, I would, put this here. But if you want Vigilante supplies, armament, sorry, but keep this in mind. Viral and Slash is better at scaling. You can scale much further with, of course, Hunter munitions than with pure damage. Now, I love using this build if I'm going on for long runs, but if I'm not, if I just think 5 or 10 minutes somewhere, or maybe 15, I'm gonna use the raw damage build. Now, of course, you keep in mind, you have to switch out the Bane mod depending on which faction you're fighting, so keep that in mind, and don't use Bane of Corrupted against Infested, of course. So, basically, that is it for the modding section, and yeah, I guess final words and thoughts about the actual weapon itself. The Boltor Prime Incarnon, and of course Telos Boltor by, of course, extension, is an amazing addition to the game. I love that they made adapters for the older weapons. It makes them really fun, makes them incredibly fun to use, and makes them also incredibly viable to use in today's gameplay style. Of course, it really depends on which build you want to use. Of course, every single build and every single evolution is personal to every single player. I personally chose this. If you like it, use it. If you don't, as always, don't. But you will have really good results if you do. Just saying, an incredible Warframe to actually pair this weapon is actually Hero and Hero Prime. So if you possibly can, I do have a video on Hero Prime on his build. I'll leave it in the little eye up there. Check that out. And with this weapon, it is incredibly fun to use. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, do leave a like, a comment, and do subscribe for more content. I would be really, really grateful and helpful to me. So, this has been the Gaming Weasel, and over and out.